Blacks in Technology.
Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology.
Welcome everyone to the Blacks in Technology Bit Tech Talk podcast, a show where we talk to Black people who are engineers, innovators, educators, inventors, change makers, and entrepreneurs doing amazing things in the world of technology. The Bit Tech Talk podcast is where they show how they are stomping the divide by sharing their stories, experiences, ideas, knowledge, and perspective on tech within the Bit community. I'm very happy to introduce you all on this episode of the podcast to our guest, Nicole McIlwain of Skildora. How are you?
I'm wonderful and I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Great. So I guess I like to start off usually when I'm doing the podcast with where you're from. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So, of course, I have no accent, so you would never know this, but originally I'm from Springfield, Massachusetts, born there, but I left when I was about 10 years old. So, don't really have an accent and kind of lived all over, I would say.
Great. And I actually learned about Skildora on LinkedIn. I just saw a lot of your videos and I was so curious by the name.
Mm-hmm.
And can you tell me about where the idea for Skildora came from?
Absolutely. We get that question quite a bit. So first of all, I'll start with the name and then I'll tell you where it all came from. So Skildora, we were very intentional with naming our platform because the word Dora means gift, like to give someone a gift. And we wanted to give skills as a gift. And oddly enough, Skildora came about from one of the greatest ideas that fell flat on its face. Did not work at all. And I'll tell you very quickly what that was, is when we first started, we thought we were going to be very typical, like a regular Udemy Academy or LinkedIn Learning, where we would have experts who I would teach how to build courses, online course programs. And then at the end, they would sell them on the Skildora marketplace. Sounds simple enough, right? The only problem with that is that when we got down to helping the experts build their courses, nobody wanted to get in front of a camera. No one liked the editing process, and no one liked the time that it took to sit down and actually build their course and be the spokesperson. At that point, my husband was like, we have to figure out how can we still have an online course platform and use AI? What if we could use AI instructors? We didn't have to depend on people. And that was the beginning of the birth of the AI aspect of Skildora, where we have AI instructors.
Awesome. And were either of you involved in tech before you started this business or?
Yes. And so together with my husband, Demario McIlwain. So Demario is the tech co-founder and I'm more of the business strategist, innovator co-founder. And together we're married. We make a perfect team. He's always been in tech. So we've had many tech companies before this. We've been in the e-learning space. He was in UI, UX design. He's built websites for HBCUs and apps and programs. And so we very much have been in that educational tech space, but nothing like Skildora before, where we've added the AI, the artificial intelligence element. That part is new.
I love to hear that you identified like complementary skills for both of you to really add value to the business and to the company, and just to hear the naming and to know the meaning behind it. With Dora meaning gift, it was very cool.
The BIT Foundation has established featured partnerships and programs with companies such as Amazon, AT&T, CompTIA, Techstars, and more to provide our members with the resources we want and need to thrive and succeed in this tech ecosystem. To learn more, visit foundation.blacksintechnology.net. Join now, and remember, membership is free.
So can you tell me more about these AI digital human instructors you have? How do they work? And how did you know that that was something, like you said, your husband thought of adding it, but how did you know it was something that could work for your
Yeah.
employees?
Very good questions, because I'll tell you, we didn't know. So here's what's funny. When you think about the way that Skildora is set up, so just so that the listeners really understand the full platform, the platform is basically a continuing education and online academy marketplace for upskilling, right? And reskilling, which typically you would get with a human presenter, right? A human expert is teaching you this course. And so while we knew that AI digital human avatars would solve the problem of allowing us to build content quickly and certified programs quickly, what we did not know is how the learners in the market would receive them. So really two different elements that you have to go through. In terms of how we even found out about this was about a year and a half ago, before ChatGPT. And I remember he had the idea and thought, geez, I wish we could use AI in some way. And this is before it was really popular. So it wasn't like as popular as it is now. And I just so happened to find or come across an ad for what's called generative AI. So that is actually a term that if you're listening, you want to get familiar with. Generative AI is the aspect that these AI startup firms will produce coding that allows you to generate anything. Just like ChatGPT allows you to generate a prompt or a question, generative AI can make things come to life, right? Digital images have human likeness. That's really what it is, essentially. We happened to come across them by accident. And the next step was, can we license this IP? How do we get this IP in the US? As it turns out, the company they weren't located here in the US. And so we had to do partnership deals. And we were the first one to bring generative AI from an educational aspect to the US. So we're really proud of that. And that's how we found out about it.
That is awesome and right up my alley. I'm an IP attorney, and so that gets me really excited. So
Yeah.
are you able to say a little bit more about where you sourced it from? Was it Asia or India or?
Yeah, it was actually, and I'm just remembering where they are. They are in the Middle Eastern, so like the Egypt area, that whole region. And yeah, the company is DID. And so let's talk about that because it got really interesting. And I'll tell you why. When we first started, we then had to figure out, how do we sell this, right? This is so new. Are we selling the AI component? And so we made this huge mistake, which that's how we learned. So that's why I'm talking about it. When we first got it, we were so excited that we were like, oh, we have AI courses, AI generated courses. And we were selling, like, everything in our tagline was like AI avatar instructed courses. This is who we are. And come to find out, the world really wasn't ready for it. They didn't know, what does that mean and why do we care, right? Like, so what? And it was so interesting. We spent all this investment and time, and nobody cared about that angle. And so what we had to figure out is that it wasn't the AI piece that made us special. It was what Skildora was able to do with that intellectual property. So the AI by itself was nice, but it wasn't novel enough if it doesn't produce an end result. And what we really had to start selling was our ability to take that AI, use our trade secrets to produce a state-of-the-art online course program in education. So that was the secret sauce, is what we could do with the AI and how we baked in emotional intelligence into the artificial intelligence to give the learner a human-like experience. That was our claim to fame. And that's what we started to sell, is that we are a continuing education provider who happens to use AI avatars to teach the courses.
Awesome. Yes, because that distinction you made is hard for me to express to my clients sometimes.
Yeah. Yes.
And it does take a few conversations to walk them through. But when they do finally see that nuance and, like you said, are able to see the value add on top of the technology and what their business proposition is to the market.
Yeah.
It takes them to new levels. And the other thing that was really interesting of what you said is, it's okay to fail up, right? To
Right.
try and test and experiment in a way and be open to what comes out of it.
BIT is always focused on forming new partnerships and opportunities to assist the community and our members with their continued professional growth and development. If you'd like to partner with us, send an email, inquiries@blacksintechnology.net.
And I am curious too about the course catalog and how you choose what courses to make available. Is it where you do
Yeah.
some kind of survey, or can you walk us through that process?
Absolutely. I'm happy to do that. I'm loving how you prefaced the questions as well. So once we figured out, oh, this is our product, right? It's not just the AI, it's the end result of what we're doing. Then we had to actually be a business, right? And we had to say, okay, so what's the business, right? What are people paying for? Why are we here? And this is when we determined that what we were going to do is offer a lean, mean course catalog of 20 certification programs. So, to be clear, each year, Skildora will position 20 lean, mean programs. We're a very agile company. By the way, I'm a certified agile coach and global trainer. So, we're into, not being heavy and clunky, but lean. And what we wanted to do strategically, it made sense to say, if we have a catalog of 20, then we need to be in a position where we can repurpose these 20 across multiple sectors and segments. So, for example, even though there are 20, we can sort of resell or relicense is our model, license these 20 across 5 different learning categories, right? So they all fit somewhere nicely multiple times across personal development, professional development, leadership development, career advancement, and entrepreneurship. So it was not only courses that could fit nicely across 5 different categories of learning, but also courses that appeal to multiple professional industries. So when you start to think about it, that 20 could easily turn into a multi-billion-dollar category because you can resell it many times to different industries, from project managers, right? From agile professionals who need similar courses, HR professionals, risk management professionals. So that plays a huge part in how we determine year after year what the specific and acute category of courses will be. Do they fall nicely across multiple segments?
I see. And so is licensing a part of that when you say resell, or?
Yeah, so licensing, so we essentially have, I would say, 3 models to think through. So our and then we can talk about the pivot. When we first started, Skildora was largely a consumer direct model, right? Where basically think of, hey, we're an online marketplace. You need upskilling or reskilling. Sign up as a member. Membership is free and pay as you learn, right? So, as you need a certification and you are the adult learner, you're going to pay for an hour course or for a 4-hour course. You're going to pay your money as you go, gain your certification and your credits. Because we're accredited, that means you could also get continuing educations or in the legal profession, CLEs, right? Which you're used to,
Yeah.
continuing learning. Yep. So we do qualify for that because we're accredited. Well, that's when we first started, though. When we first started, we were doing a consumer direct play. We quickly realized that we needed to pivot if we wanted to scale, because going after one to one to one to one at a time would be very timely. Instead, we started to move more so towards a B2B model. And in the business to business model, what that looks like is licensing. So the second model is where we would partner with organizations of any size and scale, whether it's a workforce development company, whether it's PMI, whether it's SHRM. By the way, those are real partners today, PMI and SHRM. We partner with them and we basically offer them the opportunity for an annual license. And we say, listen, if you license this course in bulk for your members or for your people and or organization, and you get an account level license, you're going to save money. You're going to get a guaranteed point of contact, an account representative, and you'll be able to get reports, right? So it makes more sense as an organization to just secure a license. So that's our most popular model. And then our third model is a model where we just become a preferred learning provider, where a company says, we're not going to pay for a license, but we promise to send all of our professionals over to you for CLEs or for continuing education credits.
I see.
So those are our main models now, the 2 hefty business models. And now the consumer direct plays more of a back seat, but it's still available.
Yeah, and I think flexibility is always good, right? Where folks can engage in like different ways. And so you're not
Yeah,
necessarily turning folks away, you're just giving them different options. And
absolutely.
no, that's really cool. And good to know that, for my area too, that you have some offerings is awesome.
What's up, everyone? We hope that you're enjoying this episode of the Blacks in Technology Big Tech Talk podcast. Do you or someone you know have a dope story that they want to share with our BIT audience? Blacks in Technology is seeking guests to be on our podcast. We're looking to highlight the journeys and experiences of Black women and men in the tech industry. So if you know of someone, send them our way. Shoot us an email to contact us at blacksintechnology.net or click on the link in the show notes and fill out our form. We're looking to hear from you.
Tell me more about the ups and downs. You definitely talked about the, like when you talked about the pivot and knowing when to do something differently. But can you tell me maybe one thing that you wish you had known before you launched this business, that if you were speaking to someone who's just starting out or you wanted to give them advice, you'd be sure to tell them?
Yeah, listen, I have a lot of things. As you can imagine, the thing to really pick apart here is a couple of things, right? Which is going to set up the points that I give. We are husband and wife team. We are Black minority owned. We are in the tech space, and we happen to also be in AI ed tech, which is still relatively new. So we faced challenges where some people didn't want to see us here. Some people wouldn't give us our credit, right? Like we would do podcasts or we would do a big launch event. And when we would get it later, they changed the narrative. They didn't put Skildora's name in it, right? That's the problem. And that's something that I handle assertively, I would say, to go and get that rectified. We also broke history, and it's important that we say that every time someone hears my voice. I need everyone to know that a Black company made world history when we became the first to accredit an e-learning platform that uses AI avatars. That had not been done. And by doing so, that now opens up the future of education so that colleges in the futures and university could foreseeably use digital humans to teach accredited courses and to offer. So we did it first. And so we ran into some resistance where certain groups didn't want to acknowledge us or change the narrative. We also ran into, and this is just a word of caution, we had to seek litigation already because as soon as we launched last year, we had a group fast and furiously pursue us to work with us under the auspice of helping us raise venture capital. And we had them sign all of the NDAs, all of the confidentialities, all of the legal things you should have a partner do, only to find out that they were looking to infringe on our operation and learn our trade secrets. And we found out within a few weeks that they were trying to offer the same thing and use our methodology. Luckily, we were tipped off by our IP partner, who said, "Hey, they're over here trying to get quotes and they're trying to show me the same product that you all have developed." So lots of lessons learned. One thing I would say is a few things. Pay attention to when it's time to pivot, for one, right? Notice when something is working well and notice when something is not working well. And the only way you can do that is you have to inspect often and you have to adapt quickly, right? So continue to inspect, is this working? And if it's not working after, and what we do is if something that we put acute focus on doesn't work after 2 or 3 weeks of copious efforts, we already have a plan B in mind to pivot to. That's just the world we're in. You can no longer wait 6 months. You just can't, right?
This is true.
Because your competition. Yep.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then the second thing I would say is be cautious when you have something unique and novel and new, and you get a swarm of guests who are uninvited who suddenly come around and want to infringe and partner closely with you. Just be mindful, and I would say honor the game plan at hand before you start adding in new people who haven't earned the trust, because that was a lesson learned. I think we were pretty shattered when we found out that the person who was operating under the auspice of being a team member who had pursued us was actually trying to sell our product underneath us.
Wow. Wow. Yes. It's a lot of those learnings there. The reason why, I do the work that I do in the IP legal space to especially educate our people pro bono. I'll do
Hmm.
workshops and I'll try to explain to them again the importance of what you were saying with NDAs, but also being mindful of scaling too quickly, to resist the urge as you're, achieving successes, to really be disciplined and diligent and try to, like you said, suss out and vet who you're doing deals with, because you
Hmm.
never know. And of course, you can do your best and still think things can happen, but just to take that time to build that infrastructure and discipline before, you go and add on to what you already have going on. But the other amazing thing about what I've heard from what you said is just the feeling of persistence. That's what I took away from persistence and determination. And
Yeah.
the point about, my goodness, making history, it's another thing about our culture and our people that I try to remind folks of, and I'm so glad that you shared, is to pass down those wins, to share the
Yeah.
wins, to really relish in it. It's okay to, recognize and pat yourself on the back for all these things that you're doing, because it is going to inspire someone else. And like you said, it's creating such a large impact that down the line, future generations will benefit from. And that's really why I was actually in part moved to do the podcast, was to leave a legacy behind. So, other people coming down the pike who are listening or looking for resources, they do a Google search or something, and they can hopefully find something that's helpful to them. And
Absolutely.
even if you're not, that's not what you're looking to achieve, just to hear that you achieved that I just want to let you know that that was really, really powerful. And it's something that I think you should spread beyond Blacks in Technology, and hopefully you're able to share
Oh,
with.
yeah. Listen, we put that in every tagline. Like, it's now on our LinkedIn tagline, it's on our signature, it's everywhere. And could I say one more thing about it that I
Mhm.
think is probably the most important for us, especially, if it's okay? I
Yeah.
would say know when you see an opportunity. Like, sometimes we move so fast. Sometimes our innovative spirit is so innate inside of us that we don't take intentional inventory to see that we've done something great, to your point. And I share that firsthand because I want to tell you, when we applied and we went through this 6 week process for accreditation and then we got it, I remember that we got the email that says, "Congratulations, Skildora is now an accredited platform." And I remember sitting there looking at the letter for a second. And it was only because I questioned and said, "Wait a minute, are we the first? Are we are we the first company in history to, I think we're the first to use AI avatars and get an accreditation, right?" And because I questioned it, and I asked and I went back and they said, "Oh my gosh, let me check." And then they checked. And by the way, this is a London based global accrediting body. They
Mm.
went and checked and it took like a week. And then all of a sudden they came back and said, "Dawn Nicole McIlwain, we're happy to inform you that you are the first." And let me tell you, we went crazy with the announcement. Okay. My point is that we almost missed the opportunity, because when opportunity knocks, sometimes no one is going to tell you, no one is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, you did something great. Look into this." And I'm also fully convinced that the reason why our ancestors didn't always get the credit for making the peanut butter or flying the plane first is sometimes they were just aloof and unaware that they were the
Mhm.
first ones to do something great. We've got to be better at recognizing our opportunities.
Definitely, 100%, 100%. When I educate people about the number of Black inventors we have, and again, why I was inspired to pursue IP law in particular,
Yeah.
because of our innovation, and because, as you said, we've been exploited in the past or not given the credit, for all the modern technologies we enjoy today. And it's so true. So I'm so glad that you said that, because yeah, oftentimes it may be missed and people don't tell us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But along kind of similar lines, I just wonder, is there someone who inspires you or was a mentor to you along the way? Or, I tell people it's my family. They motivate me every day, and just, like you said, ancestors and folks who are still living who just did amazing things that I look around me and I just feel so blessed to have those examples.
Do you have a product or service that you would like to share with the BIT audience? Or maybe you'd like to support the BIT community and do your part in helping us with stomping the divide. Start by sponsoring one of our podcasts. Please email us at contactus@blacksintechnology.net.
When you think about it, can you identify, not by name necessarily, but just people who you feel have been instrumental in your journey?
Oh, there's been so many instrumental people. I mean, starting with my family, of course. I come from a very driven. I have a West Indian family, and
Oh, me
so
too.
oh
Okay.
yeah, do you? Yeah, so then
Right.
and being raised by them initially, where they just did not play and everything was
Yes.
a fable and a lesson and a story, and I
Yes.
was like, oh, here we go. Here's a story about the bee and the wasp and why they don't make honey and one does. So there were all these lessons that at the time I didn't realize were life lessons, and so I have to give credit first to them, but then along the way, I'm constantly inspired by Oprah, right? I'm inspired
Me
by Oprah.
too.
Are
Oh,
you? Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
just saying that. When I tell you, like, oh, that she's just talking about Trailblazer and her story. Oh my goodness, it's just.
Yeah. Same. Yeah, I'm inspired. I'm inspired by Oprah of all people. I also take inspiration from at the time when I was way back in corporate America, and there was a manager who I thought was ridiculously hard on me, who expected too much that I couldn't stand back in the day. Now I have nothing but admiration for this person for because I get it. I get everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, he was trying to help me and I didn't even see it. So there are a number of people that I glean from.
Mhm.
I'm also inspired by my husband, Demario, who's not on this call. He's the CEO of Skildora, and I'll tell you why. He and I are night and day. I am very detail oriented, very processed, the overthinker, and he is just get it done. Like you're doing too much. Just have several seats, get it done. He's just one of those. Let's just do it and believe in what you did and keep moving, right? And so based on that and learning how to work with him and his personality difference, I've become a better person. So
Oh, that is so beautiful. And just, yeah, just so important. And yeah, my mom's side of the family is from St. Kitts and Nevis, which is the Leeward Island, so look, smaller island. So where's your family from?
yeah, so Kingston, Jamaica. My grandfather was from Kingston, Jamaica, and then my grandmother was from Barbados.
Oh, wow.
So yeah,
Small
yeah,
world again.
yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah,
And then I have two last questions for you, if
sure.
you don't mind. So
Yeah.
I like to ask folks, because it sounds like you're a planner,
Yes.
where do you see Skildora growing in the next 5 years or so?
Yeah, so this is really we have to answer this question a lot, as you can imagine, for like venture capitalists and all this kind of stuff. And I would say that right now, Skildor is on the path forward to partner with as many professional organizations as possible, right? Whose certifications require continuing education. So this would be like the Bar Association, right? PMI, all of those professional certifications, we want to partner with those organizations. Now, where we see ourselves going in 5 years and taking us to our exit strategy is then being acquired. Well, initially partnering with like the Udemy's of the world, these bigger organizations who are saying, hey, we don't have an AI education component. Yes, we have traditional learning, but in order to compete, we're going to need to partner with the Skildora. So we want to be the go-to platform and provider for AI e-learning in the very next 3 to 5 years.
Oh, I can only imagine they're already knocking down on your door.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and you're going to have a lot of options available to you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I just wish you the most success with that, and I am so excited to see your growth. And I'm going to be watching because I really do believe that education is key. You know, I'm a perpetual learner, and I try to encourage my girls, you know, who are 4 and 7, that no matter what age they are, that they should always continue learning and make that a priority. And um,
Yeah.
I'm just so excited for like you said, what you're able to do and how you're able to transform the education industry because it's so needed, and just a phenomenal platform. Just doing my own little search on it, and
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
uh,
you so much. And
yes,
I was just going to say, and before we conclude, just in terms of just like a call to action or just to share with everyone as a gift, you know, from Skildora, because we are an AI ed tech company, we now see that the world is seeing an AI vision, right? Everything is artificial intelligence, and we are really pushing upskilling and reskilling. And we would love for your listeners to take full advantage of our new artificial intelligence essentials course. It is a certified program. And we would love for everyone to go there and just check it out and really help upskill themselves so that you're not affected by AI job loss. And if I can just give the URL,
yes,
um,
please.
yep, it's myskildora.com/AIEC, which stands for Artificial Intelligence Essential Certification. So myskildora.com/AIEC.
So timely.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to share that as well with the Blacks in Technology community and make sure that folks are aware of this course.
Yeah.
And then yes, just to wrap it up with something light, where's one place that you'd like to travel to that you've never been?
Oh my gosh. So if you had asked me this last year, I would have said Hawaii, but I have since been to the beautiful islands of Hawaii. So now we want to go to Paris. That
Ooh.
definitely want to go to Paris. And I understand that my husband is busy planning something. So I have my fingers crossed.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Both,
Yeah.
Hawaii and then yes, Paris. It's that they
Yes.
say yes. Oh, I'm hoping that he comes through for you there, and yes,
Yes.
that she'll be telling you about that trip. You know, we definitely have to connect after
Yes.
this. We're in somewhere in Charlotte. I'm definitely a big foodie and have a lot of good
Oh,
recommendations.
yes. Oh, same. Listen, we do have to cut. You're speaking my love language now, girl. When you said food. Yes.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Dawn, and I'm really genuinely wishing you all the best. And I just want to thank all of our listeners. This is Natasha Walwyn Robinson for Blacks in Technology, and we wish you a great day and good luck on your journey. Take care now.
Thank you.
Blacks in Technology.
Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology.